Hey yo, check this out. To grow in 2025, you gotta be posting everywhere, like, all the time.
Okay, yes, but
And if you're not pumping out 100 pieces of content per day, you just don't want it bad enough, yo. Mic drop.
what if you're a busy founder who doesn't have 6 hours per day to create content and or a 20-person marketing department? What then, agency bro? Hello? Okay, well, agency bro clearly doesn't know, but then you focus on a couple of social media platforms that will yield the highest ROI on your time and effort. So here's how you can choose the right platforms for your brand or business in 2025. Hi, I'm Vera. I'm the co-founder and chief everything officer at The Factor Social, which is a premium branding and marketing agency that partners with founders and service-based businesses to build a really strong brand online. We like to say, you bring the vision, we build the influence. I've also dedicated the past 12 years of my life to social media. You know the 10,000 hour rule? Well, how about you multiply that by 5? Because that's how long I've spent creating content, which has resulted me in building my own personal brand that's about business and self-improvement and productivity to over 160,000 followers. For transparency, anytime we start working with a client, first thing that we do is do a strategy session to figure out the client's positioning, i.e. what's going to be the most memorable for said client and also help them reach their goals. Once we have that, we create content for them, primarily short form, and we post it across every single platform. After doing so for 2 to 3 months, we know exactly what platform generates the most leads for them, brand awareness for them, whatever their goal is. So while my recommendation is to post everything everywhere, here's how you know what platforms you should be choosing for your brand and for your business. Platform number 1, TikTok. It is all the rage and it is where the kids are. TikTok is the #1 platform for reaching a Gen Z or younger millennial audience. But TikTok is also a highly targeted audience platform because its algorithm is rooted in SEO, search engine optimization. Arguably, TikTok has one of the best algorithms across any social media platforms. For example that I found, I've recently taken an interest in surfing. Do I surf? No, I've been 3 times. But as soon as I search for surfing once, I've been getting tens and hundreds of videos on my timeline, the For You page, all about surfing. TikTok knows more about me than I think some of the friends I have. And that is purely just based on what I search. So if one of the audiences you're targeting for your brand is a Gen Z audience, a younger millennial audience, and or your brand tone is just more casual, more authentic, and more real, TikTok is the platform for you. And here's an example. One of the clients we work with is Ian Phillips. He's an Orange County realtor, and he's grown his TikTok platform to over 20,000 followers in less than 2 years, which is just simply incredible. Snaps. I actually think he's coming up on 2 years. Let's do a quick breakdown on why TikTok worked so well for Ian. First of all, high posting cadence. While Instagram may be a more polished platform, TikTok is not. How I like to think of TikTok is when a viewer is scrolling on the TikTok platform, they expect to be in there in the trenches with you, versus Instagram is like, I've been in the trenches and here's how I got out of it. If you're posting on TikTok, your content does not need to be polished. It does not need to be scripted. It just needs to be very authentic. So Ian is posting, I think still to this day, 2 to 3 times per day. And that's how he was able to get millions of views on his content. He has laser sharp clarity in messaging, which we helped him develop. He's an Orange County realtor, and that brings me to point 3. He's speaking to a highly targeted audience. People who are interested in local Orange County news, people in Orange County who are interested in buying a home, and more general, one of his content pillars is talking about the financial market, stocks, and etc. And now, in just 2 years, he's one of the most watched realtors in Orange County, and TikTok is his platform. And he's actually gotten inbound leads from the platform, which is incredible. Real estate is very much high ticket sales. I mean, come on, in Orange County, median house price is over $1 million. So no matter what business you have, if it's a B2C business, you've got to be on TikTok because the reach of the platform is 20% of the global population. That is 1.59 billion people on TikTok scrolling. And even if you get 1% of those eyeballs on your business, even if it's 0.001%, that could be absolutely life-changing. Age breakdown, 18 to 24 age group is 35%, 25 to 34 years old is 23%. Gender is 45% male, 55% female. If you're a brand targeting Gen Z audience or younger millennials, if you're a founder of a brand who's very public about being a founder of that brand, and if you're just really great at yapping in conversations, TikTok is the platform for you. Ooh, and also TikTok Shop, I probably need to make a separate video about that. If you have a CPG business, and the product that you're selling is relatively low ticket, you've got to be on TikTok Shop. It will completely change the trajectory of your business if marketed correctly. Now, one thing to note about TikTok is that it is quite an unstable platform. As you may know, the US passed a law requiring TikTok's Chinese parent company, ByteDance, to sell the app or face a ban. President Trump has delayed enforcement several times, with the current deadline set for September 17th, 2025. When you're watching this video, chances are that deadline has already passed, so I wonder what's gonna happen. If no sales completed by then, TikTok could be removed from the US app stores and shut down for its 170 million users that are in America. And TikTok has already been banned before, so it's a little bit more volatile. 2. Instagram and or Facebook. I'm going to be combining these two because they truly work hand in hand. Instagram is not dying. It is simply part of Meta's advertising powerhouse. If your business has ever or will ever launch Meta ads, you've got to post on Instagram and Facebook. One of the clients we're working with is a private school founded by a 4-time NFL champion. And we built out their entire marketing strategy from scratch. I mean, when they came to us, they had just gotten the keys to their building. Since then, we have launched numerous Meta ads campaigns for them to generate high quality leads, aka parents, for their school. And because Meta ads show up on a Facebook and Instagram timeline, if you're launching them, it is crucial that your account is filled with posts, because that further reinforces trust to a person who's coming across your ads, and they're much more likely to click and or buy from you. Instagram and Facebook are also incredible for community building. Every single client that we work with, we manage their Instagram and Facebook profiles, and it is absolutely essential for marketing, unless we're talking about our very niche B2B clients, which we'll get to. Because Instagram, you can make a lot of money on. Guess what Instagram has that TikTok and LinkedIn do not have as advanced of? Many chat automations, or just automations in general. I'm sure you've seen posts, here's an example, that say comment guide, and I'll send you my free PDF guide for which allows you to build your email list, nurture your audience, and turn those audience members into your customers. Instagram also has a feature, it's called Trial Reels, and when you post on there, you're reaching a brand new audience. No other platform has that. And finally, Instagram has one of the most loyal communities if you're building on there ever. Because TikTok algorithm is not determined by who you follow, it is determined by what you're interested in, versus Instagram, even though it is leaning more and more that way every single day. If you're following a business or a creator, you're engaging with them 3 times. You're watching their reels, you're seeing their notes, you're in their broadcast channel, and you're also seeing their stories. TikTok doesn't really do that. In terms of the audience, no matter what business you have, if it's B2C, I would also recommend posting on Instagram and thus Facebook. Instagram has 21% of the global population as its audience, a staggering 1.74 billion users. Regarding age breakdown, 25 to 34, 28.3%, 18 to 24 is 26.5%. So definitely a little bit older than TikTok. And Facebook is stronger with Gen X, 45 to 54 years old, and boomers who do have higher purchasing power because they have the ka-ching ka-ching. And they do engage with more ads. Because even if you're running a B2B business like myself, I run a marketing agency, you run Meta ad campaigns, and even though Meta ads is not specifically for B2B, it is more cost efficient than LinkedIn ads, and it yields pretty good results. Platform number 3, YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts is the kind of platform every business should be on because it pays the most just from creating content, and it is a great lead generation tool. I do not care what anybody says, YouTube is not dead and it will never be. All of the clients we work with, from B2C businesses to B2B businesses to founders to more service-based businesses, we're all managing their YouTube channels, specifically YouTube Shorts. And it's quite a simple strategy. You have 2 options. One, you create long-form YouTube videos and then you cut it up into short-form YouTube videos and you just post that on YouTube Shorts, which promotes your long-form content as well as your short form separately, and both pay you per views because they get to run ads. And your second strategy is you create content for your primary platform like Instagram or TikTok, and you just repurpose all of that content to YouTube Shorts. On my personal brand side, I have built my Instagram community to over 134,000 followers. I have never specifically created content for YouTube Shorts once, yet I have almost 20,000 subscribers on that channel, just from repurposing content that I'm creating for other platforms. If you're wanting to become a thought leader or you already are a thought leader and you're looking to amplify your visibility, YouTube is a great platform for you because the audience there has, one, a good attention span. You do not have to overstimulate your YouTube audience. And two, they're a little bit older, which means they have more purchasing power. Platform number 4, X, formerly known as Twitter. It is Elon Musk's platform now. If you're an aspiring thought leader, or if you have a niche business, whether it's B2C or B2B, you've got to get on X. And I know I say this about pretty much every single platform, but here's why. Twitter has been there since the dawn of time, but X is newer. And Elon Musk is actively making changes and running different promotions for creators to help them grow their channels and grow the platform. Although demographic data is a little bit harder to come by when it comes to X, what I have found is it skews strongest towards males ages 25 to 49. If you think of any thought leader in any space, especially when it comes to finance, AI, productivity, they're all posting on X, and that's for a very good reason. An audience there has high purchasing power. A lot of thought leaders, decision makers, and people who can actually buy from you, especially if it's high ticket services, they're all on X. And because it's a newer platform, your content gets pushed out more into the algorithm because the more you grow, the more audience you have, the more the platform grows. And that's the ultimate goal of any platform. So if you're an expert or a business that's wanting to build a real-time authority, join conversations, and lead industry discussions, X is the platform for you. And it's the platform that you've got to be on. Now, finally, this is the true marketing goldmine that is not talked about enough. Platform number 5 is LinkedIn. LinkedIn right now is the most underrated growth hack in marketing if you're seeking B2B clients because you're a B2B business, or if you're seeking incredible professional life-changing opportunities like being in conferences and doing speaking gigs and speaking at universities and speaking on huge stages. If you're a consultant, if you're an expert, if you're a coach, and you're primarily targeting decision makers in companies, you've got to be on LinkedIn. What is wonderful about LinkedIn is that if, for example, we have a client in private equity, okay? And upon doing research in his private equity niche, if you have only 30,000 followers on LinkedIn, you're already considered an A-list celebrity because the private equity niche is so tight. If you post on LinkedIn, the audience that you amass is very targeted, and there's a lot of business and a lot of deals that can come through that platform. If we look at the demographics, age is 25 to 34, 35%, 35 to 54, 30%, and 18 to 24 is the smallest percentage, which is 20%. Gender is 57% male, 43% female. LinkedIn is best for B2B, high-ticket services, nonprofits, and professionals looking to position themselves as thought leaders, as industry leaders. And why LinkedIn is such a goldmine right now is if you think back to YouTube in 2016 when like every channel was just blowing up, that is what's happening in LinkedIn because they're pushing, and they have been for the past year and a half, a short form video initiative. They're trying to become like every other girl in the school. But that's not a bad thing because if you post your short form content to LinkedIn, it has a higher likelihood of doing really, really well on there because the LinkedIn platform is incentivizing and promoting that kind of content. The biggest takeaway here is if you're starting to create content for your brand, for your personal brand or your business, start posting everywhere as much as you can. After doing so consistently for a couple months, you should see where the biggest traction is coming from, and that's when you can really lean into that targeted platform. That being said, if you're ready for next level strategy and or you're looking to outsource your marketing, you know who to call. Just ask for Vera. I'll answer the call. Thank you for watching and subscribe for more content like this. Bye.